Hey, what's going on, guys? It's No Shoes, and we're back with another one. And today we're going to be talking about the fact that storytellers are essentially liars, and the fact that they tell the lies we want to believe. And that's what suspension of disbelief is built on. If you want to see a video about suspension of disbelief, maybe we can talk about that another time. But for today, we're going to focus on the lying of storytelling, because the other day I had a conversation with a viewer who they felt like there are no rappers out there living the life they discuss, which, you know, maybe nowadays that's a little bit more true than it was before. I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of mainstream rap. Point being, is there rappers like NWA who started a new genre called gangster rap because they were gangsters? That was the truth of their life. Maybe they weren't out here committing these exact acts they discussed in their song, but the acts reflected the life they had lived, the things that they had seen other people do. And that kind of delves into my first point here, where in storytelling, your job is to exploit reality. There are some storytellers, sorry, I'm figuring out the lighting here. There are some storytellers who exploit their personal reality, and there are other storytellers who exploit the general reality of the world. And what I would say is that it's important to remember to exploit your personal reality, because there are pieces of authenticity that are going to come through that the audience will feel. They will feel that realness in your story, even if the events aren't completely factual. You know, A$AP Rock and his song Shrunk about his battle with mental health and trying to get better and going to see therapists and eventually getting a cat. Songs like Mac Miller and Once a Day, where he talks about how it feels like it never really mattered what he had to say, even though clearly that song is on a very successful album where it mattered what he had to say. And there's so many other examples. You know, MF Doom, not actually a supervillain. I hate to be the guy to tell you, but he felt like a supervillain. He created a character. He created the persona, and that shaped the reality that he painted with his lyrics. And this goes for any medium. I'm a music guy, right? But whether you're painting a picture, whether you're creating a movie, whether you're writing a story, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to, at some point, exploit reality. You're going to fudge the line between fact and fiction. Similarly, we have documentary style lies, which again are based in reality. They're based in fact, but you have chosen to tell that story. You have chosen the order of events. You have chosen how to present those events and what words make sense to tell that. And that comes to Immortal Technique with Dance with the Devil. Was he really there on the roof that night doing unspeakable things to a woman? No, he wasn't there engaging in those acts. But as he says in an interview, he can take you to the building where it happened. That is the main crux of this. Storytellers are liars, kind of. They tell lies we want to believe, and they tell lies influenced by truth. So, maybe not every rapper is out here living the life they rap about. But the point here being is, if you're going to tell stories, you have to figure out what type of lie you're going to tell. On my EP Dabda, I wrote a song called Nick McTarman, about a man who sold his soul to the devil, or a demon, or some type of figure. I don't think I ever got that specific about who it was. Obviously not true. I have never sold my soul to a demon. I don't know anybody who has, and as far as I know, demons don't actually exist. I wrote a song called Snooze, about the bad days where you don't want to get out of bed, where the only thing keeping you feeling right is the warmth of your blanket, and your head's running crazy. That song is true, and the fact that I feel that way sometimes but not every day. So some days it was a lie. In fact, I might have felt great the day that I wrote that song. Passing through, it's all about acceptance. And in a way, it's about me trying to be a better person. Maybe it's not literally true in the fact that every line I discuss in that song isn't actually something you could point to in my life, but the feeling of it is true. So think about these different things. Is it metaphorically true or figuratively true? Does it evoke a feeling that you have on a regular basis? Does it refer to real life events, but through a lens that allows you to communicate with the audience and exploit that reality to make it more general and relatable to people beyond just yourself? There are so many ways to go about it, but it really comes back to that beautiful lie that the audience is going to want to believe. And through that, you will have suspension of disbelief, and then through suspension of disbelief, you will be able to connect to people through your story, and they will be impacted by what you have to say, what you have shown them, or whatever it really is and whatever it comes down to. I hope you guys don't mind these angles and everything. I'm actually in my little studio today. We got some tapestries up. I got my little vocal recording booth right behind me, very bare bones spot. But remember that storytellers are liars to an extent. Not everything they say is true, and certainly not everything they say is false. And there are many different views you can take that from, whether something is intended to be literally true, whether something's metaphorically true, whether something is true in the feeling that it evokes, even if the exact wording and events aren't true. And then there are people out here just lying, appropriating other people's life, taking their culture. Whatever it is, there is some nugget of truth in that, even if it is not that person's direct truth. So with that, we're gonna end it off here today. I hope that was helpful to someone out there. If you guys wanna see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what questions you might have about art, music, storytelling, whatever it is, I'm happy to help. Check out the link tree in the description to support me further. I got Penny God's Video Ambience is out, Dabbed is out, streaming. There's a bunch of stuff in the Buy Me a Coffee where you can support, get access to the Discord, hang out with our crew of 100% wonderful people, and I will see you all next time. Much love.